Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to FPL Jedi Show, where we'll be viewing. As we know, FPL is live. I think they've been released somewhere. Today is Thursday. I think Monday night or Tuesday night. So we
Yeah,
are live.
morning.
Yeah. Yep. So we are live. We are excited. And with me, Azmin. How are you, brother?
Fine, fine. Thank you. Quite excited. I've registered. I've registered for the game already. Got my team number, but obviously, I was quite late, so the number isn't a small number, but it's still a
Okay.
nice number nonetheless. So I'm happy. I'll tell you later. But yeah, it's nice. But nice to see the new look that the game has used.
Yep. If I can recall, actually, I woke up around 3 a.m. and I've been waiting for so long, till 3 a.m. Malaysian time. And then, FPI is live and I'm excited. But I posted into our Twitter and so on. But I didn't see the rest of the players. But we have time now to
Yeah.
actually look at the full prices and we'll review them.
Yeah, you WhatsApped me as well, didn't you? I woke up even though it was 4 hours, 3 hours later. It's like, whoa, okay, let me just get in.
Yep. So we are excited. As we all know, FPI has been previewing all the 20 teams players. Okay, where around 11 players per team, and then after that, 4 days they preview 5 teams each day, and it comes to this now moment where we can actually see all the prizes. People already drafting their team inside FPL site. So we shall deep dive main straight away. We shall see the first one, which is the premium. Okay, when we talk about the premium players, we are talking about who has price 10 million and above. So
Yeah.
who's the priciest or the expensive of all? Definitely is Mo Salah with 13 million. Okay, we'll review that whether that 13 million is actually the right price for Salah. Okay, because I heard some people say he's too expensive. Okay, if I can recall, last season is 12.5, something like that. Okay, and then at 12 million, two players, KDB, Kevin De Bruyne, Man City players, and now Herman Son, who actually higher price than Kane. I think this the highest price Son will be. I think for the past season that we know, this is definitely the highest that Son ever be. Okay, 12 million KDB and Son, and then at 11.5 million, Kane and Haaland. Okay, Haaland, the anticipated one. Okay, from Man City player. He before this maybe we predicted to price maybe 12.5 or even 12. He's actually at 11.5 and sharing the same price as Kane. They will fight for this place. Haaland and Kane at 11.5. Then a bit lower, Ronaldo at 10.5, and then Sterling and Bruno at 10 million. So there is 8 players we can consider at premium in. So what's your thought?
Right. So Salah, of course, now we know that he signed a new contract. I've got mixed feelings, to be honest. I actually thought it may have been better for him to leave, but okay, never mind. He's still with us. But from what I understand, with the contract that he signed, the wages that he get is some to get to the high tier is dependent on performance as well. So there's bonuses, so that's fine. So, but in any case, it reflects the costs in FPL. So, and obviously, one of the top performers last season, with only in terms of total goals, of course, Son got the golden boot. But in terms of his performance, he's been quite a consistent performer across the years, Salah. So, and we know last season it was no Salah, Mo Salah. You had to have Salah for
And
most of the
and
time.
that might actually continue this season also, I mean.
Yeah. So the only problem is that I felt was because let's face it, Salah's second half of last season was nowhere as good as the first half. So now we're looking at that price tag and expecting him to show a bit more consistency there. But it's nevertheless he's still the most expensive game. Okay.
Do you
So
feel that 13 million is the right price for Salah, Min?
yeah, I think it is. Yeah. We've got a player who's still not now that Milner really is at the end of his career. So in terms of penalty takers, he'll definitely stay as first choice penalty taker, and we know his goal scoring ability. We've seen him weave in through and out. So I guess it's the question of, is age gonna start becoming an issue for him, and that is the main reason. But I guess Salah was able to stay. One argument was that because Sadio Mane left, so and as a result, we didn't have that many attacking players knocking on the door to get higher wages, so they will be able to keep Salah at high wage. Anyway, KDB at 12, I think again that's the right price for him. I think he's definitely a mainstay. He continues to be the pivot for Manchester City. So sure, when he wasn't around, or he was off at the start of last season, he was quite off color, and others stepped up. But once he was back, he became the all over again. So 12. So Son 12. I don't know this one. Unlike Salah and KDB, okay, so even KDB, to be fair, he doesn't. With Mahrez is around, he's not taking penalties, right? But with Son, Kane will always play, and we know that Kane will always be on penalties. So 12 seems expensive for me. I mean, last season he started at 10, didn't he? And it was the right nice price, yeah. But of course, because him winning the Golden Boot is a pain.
Just share a bit, Min. If you can see there, total points. That total points is actually last season they scored. Salah scored 265 points. Son 258. The number of goals are the same, 23 goals. They both share Golden Boot. In terms of assists, Salah 13 assists and Son 10. It's not that far away.
Yeah, not that far. Yeah, and we know that Son really, unlike Salah, Son accelerated in the second half of the season. It took him a while to bed in with the new manager, but after that he pushed up and exceeded Kane even. Okay, so coming to Haaland at 0.5 cheaper than KDB. For me, macam mahal lah. Okay. sebab apa? Because of apa? With between KDB and Haaland at the moment, if I had to choose between the two, I'd still choose KDB. At the end,
and pay the extra 0.5 okay.
Yeah, and to be fair, of course, Haaland's kita dah nampak his goal scoring ability in other leagues, but in the Premier League, we don't know yet. We've seen top goal scorers in other leagues fail in the Premier League. So at the start, if I had to choose, I'd probably go KDB. Kane 11.5, that's about right. No argument there. Ronaldo, okay, 10.5. I think that's the right price. He's at the tail end of his career. He's nowhere we seen last season. He can't. Last time in Juventus, he was able to in other leagues, he was able to conjure up goals by himself. Yeah, he was able to create, but in the Premier League, whether it's because of his age or because the defense is different, he can't do that in the Premier League anymore. So 10.5 is okay. If in fact,
we are also not sure whether Ronaldo will still be there lah.
He's last I heard this morning is that he wants to leave. So he clearly this is not the project that he was expecting. So and to be fair, I don't know if Erik ten Hag thinks high of him either, because Erik ten Hag, if he's in it for the long run, someone like Ronaldo's only going to be. We saw last season how Ronaldo's personality meant that he, there was always a confusion as to who was managing the team at some point, because of his dominating personality. So yeah. Sterling. So we know that your club Chelsea is looking to buy him, and looks like it's going to be done, isn't it?
Yep, I think so. We just need to wait for the official thing. At 10, maybe he could be an option, but later we'll see the other Chelsea.
Yeah, if I
We
remember correctly, that
hmm.
if Sterling does go in, he'll be the most expensive uh Chelsea midfielder.
Yeah, it's because Chelsea player is not in this premium list because
Yeah.
Lukaku is not no
Oh,
longer
shit.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on loan back to Inter Milan. Anyway,
So you
we'll talk about
yeah,
Chelsea
you
further.
can see here
Yeah.
in this list Liverpool, Man City, Spurs, and MU. No Chelsea in this premium list.
Yeah. And
Yep.
finally, Fernandes. If Ronaldo does leave, Fernandes could look good again.
Yep, at 10 million.
Yeah,
Could
10
be.
million. I think is a decent price. Yeah, it works.
Okay, just touch a bit before we move on.
Yep.
In terms of ownership, are you surprised? The highest ownership right now is not Salah, it's Haaland at 65%. Almost everyone have him.
Yeah, it is a surprise. It's a huge surprise to me because I'm maybe so. Am I in the minority? I'm not that keen on Haaland at the moment. So, and it's obvious that those who have Haaland probably don't have KDB because KDB's
Yep.
ownership is
Yep,
quite
definitely.
low at less than 15%. Yeah, so um, Sun at 25 though. But anyway, yeah, it is a surprise to me because you choosing a new player to the Premier League and a forward player at that. It's a striker who's in terms of FPL points, he'll be scoring less than a midfielder who gets extra points for clean sheet, an extra point for a goal. Yeah, uh, and Haaland doesn't get a clean sheet and only gets 4 points for each goal. So yeah, it's a surprise, and yeah, I mean at this point
Yep.
in time, I don't see myself picking Haaland.
Okay, but this shows what our managers are thinking. Haaland is the most, the favorite player now. People are picking alongside Salah, which is actually not that far away at
Yeah.
60%. So most of managers' team right now have these two players. Okay,
Yep.
we go then to the goalkeeper, where usually the premium price for a keeper is at 6 million, but this season, FPL already lowered it to 5.5 million, and there is only three premium players, which is Alisson, as you know, Liverpool, Man City, Edison definitely, and Loris at 5.5 million. Do you so agree that this is the price for premium players for keeper?
Well, yeah, I'm not sure in terms of what FPL are trying to achieve here, but in terms of, I guess maybe they don't want keepers who are at 6 and performing to suddenly increase further in price. Or at the same time, are they devaluing the keeper in that sense? I don't know. But anyway, at least, I mean, it does make them an interesting option. Edison for me becomes the more interesting option simply because we traditionally we found it hard to pick three Manchester City attackers simply because of the rotation risk, whereas Edison is pretty nailed on. Compared to Alisson, who in Liverpool, who we've all may all have had three Liverpool players at some point, and they don't usually include the goalkeeper.
Yep.
Spurs, yeah, Spurs. We saw towards towards the tail end of the season, they really got better and better. And credit to Antonio Conte, who there were rumors he wanted to leave if he wasn't showing, but then the results started to happen. But in terms of ownership, it's such a far drop though. So you got Alisson at 16.2, and then Loris at 4.7%. So the FPL community is still undecided, I guess, on with Spurs defense, and yeah, we're not sure either. But
Or
but at the
maybe
moment,
there is actually.
because at the moment Liverpool and Manchester City defense, we pretty much know who are going to be the players. 90%, we're quite confident.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
probably why.
Yep.
Mendy at 20. Oh, sorry, you were just talking
Okay,
about
so
Mendy.
we go to the mid price where Are you surprised? Mendy is not at 5.5 million as premium. He's actually priced at 5 million, man.
Well,
Uh,
well. The problem with Chelsea is we saw towards the end of the season they just started, conceding like no one's business when it's conceding against teams they didn't expect to concede, and they've lost Rudiger, which was very important to that defense. So I think 5.0 is decent, but that
okay.
puts him at the same uh, tier as Ramsdale, who was really good until Arsenal had injuries to
Yep.
Tomiyasu and Thomas Partey. Yeah, but now if they're both of them back and fine and fitting, Ramsdale could be the better choice over Mendy simply due to
Uh,
the personnel.
when we touch about 5 million keeper, we have option, man. I can see that Martinez has dropped in price. He's also good at um, saves. Okay, Martinez. Schmeichel still maintain at 5 million. They're here at 5 million. Pope, who actually from Burnley transferred now to Newcastle. His price is 5 million. I think bye bye to Dubravka, I suppose. Okay, Pope will play, I suppose. Fabianski still maintain at 5 million, and Sa, who actually the fourth best keeper at price at 5 million. Man. So if you go for 5 million, I think there's some good shout here. Although people are picking Mendy as the favorite one at 5 million bracket.
Yeah, so that is obviously is also the big club bias going on there. At least at the start, we still drafting, but you're right. We shouldn't forget about Wolves and how well they did in defensively last season, and under Sa and under the manager and the new manager, and this will be the second season, so it'll be interesting what he does to push on. Of course, Wolves' problem was more in terms of goal scoring rather than
Yep,
uh,
yep.
defensive
Defensive.
issues. Yeah, but you're right, Pope. Yeah, he'll become the first choice. I'm pretty sure of that. But I don't know because later on when you look at the 4.5, you wonder if people should just continue 4.5 keepers again. But it's tough. It's tough. Yeah, this it feels like there's a lot more options now, and
Yep, yep,
you can definitely choose and even the here at 5.0, I mean depending on the feeling we get from Ten Hag's
yep.
the early
Regime.
pre-season, yeah, so we want to see that, then who knows, the here might be up again.
Okay. So we go to the cheap one, which is at 4.5 million. Okay. People are definitely hyped on Raya and Sanchez, definitely. They both are
Yeah,
selected at 15%, roughly around that range. Raya, who has some injury somewhere along the season. That's why the output might be lower than Sanchez. Okay. But Raya has a better points in terms of saves. So Raya and Sanchez up there in terms of cheap keeper. Guita at 4.5, but personally, I have some bad experience with Guita. Okay, maybe I didn't pick him at the right time. Okay, Pickford actually had decreased his price from 5 to 4.5 now. Okay, I know you you also don't like me. Meslier drop his price also from 5 million now at 4.5.
yeah.
Henderson is another one who actually transferred to Forest. We know his pedigree when he's at Sheffield United before. Okay. And McCarthy, Southampton, Roda, and Travers is at 4.5. So what do you think, Ming?
I think for me the standout keeper at this is Henderson. So we saw with Sheffield United, the defense wasn't that solid, and Henderson had to do a lot of saves. He was pretty much, he really, really performed in that. And now that he is to Forest, I could predict the same thing happening again. And that's why with, Henderson, for me, he's a quality keeper. And I think it was a shame that, yeah, well, at one point it looked like he was going to replace De Gea as the first choice because but then suddenly De Gea started performing again and Henderson was just frozen out. And I do feel there's a lot in him, and he can really, really turn it up in Forest. Uh, just a quick mention of Meslier. Yeah, 4.5 is probably better. That's more accurate because Leeds defense were rubbish, and he didn't help much either. So 4.5 is fine. I'm So I'm not familiar with the Rodaks and the Travers, whether or not they'll do well. I doubt it. And I think if I remember, even like Fulham, their starting
Yep.
fixtures are pretty poor anyway.
Yep. To be fair, all the promoters have bad fixtures early season. Yep.
So McCarthy, you're gonna have to have some big iron steel balls because they'll either perform really well or concede 8 goals. I don't know what's going on there. I'm not comfortable with Raya, to be honest.
Okay. Fair.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure with the the manager is going to do anything different defensively, and yeah,
Okay.
not that great. But
Okay.
but
But just to share with you, the template right now is Raya as the
Raya.
keeper. Later we see. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. We go to the defense. Okay. The premium. We already talked about Trent. Okay. But the premium is there. 7.5 million. Trent is the highest price. Okay.
Yeah.
People predicted could be 8 million but or 8.5, but he ended up the same price as last season, 7.5 million. Some say some the season manager they feel don't agree with 7.5, but the casual players feels okay, good. They still need to pay 7.5. Okay. Then Robertson and Cancelo tied at 7 million, both performing well to be fair. Okay. Then down there, Van Dijk at 6.5. Chilwell and James at same price, 6 million. Okay. Maybe a bit surprised because maybe they should rate James higher than Chilwell, some says. Okay. Matip now, if you want to buy, it's no longer 5 million, he's 6. Laporte and Diaz share the same price at 6 million. Man. So what's your thought?
So just now remember my earlier comment about how Liverpool and City, we pretty much know the defense, So there they are. So all 4 Liverpool expected first choice defenders are there. 3 of Manchester City players are there. Obviously the other side is what could be Walker or
Walker later we'll see. Yep.
Yeah. And then you have the 2 attacking fullbacks, Chilwell and James. Although we saw in the second half of last season that James was being used as the right centre back, which hurt his FPL points. But yeah, I'm not surprised that all these are your premium players, and you'll make it hard to choose more than 2 of them, unless you go with a heavy defense, which doesn't look like the case based on what I understand with the templates having Salah and Haaland. It makes it almost impossible to have more than 2 premium defenders. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
Yep, you'll see.
The price is there. I mean, there are bargain basements
Yeah.
available. But yeah, so quickly, Trent and Cancelo as the 2 most owned. Yeah, that's expected because both of them did really good.
Yep, and not far away, third is James, 42%.
Okay, yeah. But I'm surprised Robertson's ownership isn't higher, because one thing we saw from last season is Robertson's dead balls have been better. They've really improved, and they not it hasn't got to TAA's level, but it's really close. Yeah, because in terms of set piece leading to goals, that's still TAA's forte. But in terms of like corners and indirect free kicks, Robertson has come up as well.
Okay, spoiler for you, the third slot for Liverpool is actually in midfield. Later we share. Okay, that's where the trending right now. Salah and Trent is the most highest owned, and the third slot is actually which one later we'll share. Okay.
Diaz, I bet.
Yeah.
Okay. Gone.
Okay, we go to the mid-price defenders. Okay, at 5.5 to 5 million, so-called. Okay, just a bit. There's a hype for Perisic Spurs. Pete here did comment. Perisic defense, yes. That answer you. Perisic has been priced at 5.5. Before this, he played under Conte. Is it Inter Milan, right? Before this, and then he's now has moved to Spurs and slot in as the left back, I suppose. So he's priced the highest in terms of Spurs defense at 5.5. And then who else at 5.5? Only 2 of them. Okay. 5 million. Okay. There's some players I did not share here. It's a long list, but I just pick wherever that people are eyeing. Okay. Arsenal, Tierney and Gabriel, 5 million. Digney and Cash has the same price, 5 million also. Canos has been reclassified from midfield to defense now for
Mm.
Brentford. Okay, that's an interesting one. Cucurella at 5 million. If he makes the move to Man City, he could be really an option instead of Cancelo, if you want to think of that. Azpilicueta 5 million, but I'm not too sure whether he's still an option. Okay, if his place is still not still, he might move on. Dallas at 5 million. Konate, I'm not sure whether he can displace Matip. He could be an option if he can steal that place. At 5 million. Walker, man, you mentioned 5 million. If you cannot afford Cancelo, Walker could be the one that you should go. Maguire, Shaw, all these Manchester United player. Maguire, Shaw, I think Varane also at 5 million, same price as De Gea. So you need to think of that. Newcastle could be the force for this season. Trippier and Target is the highest one, 5 million. As we all know, before that injury, Trippier really performed. Okay,
Yeah.
Doherty and Daya at 5 million. Okay, if you cannot afford Perisic, Doherty could be the one. Cresswell and Dawson at 5 million. The new signing from West Ham defender, Aguert, is it the name? Is still also priced at 5 million. And then Wolves, Semedo and Cody. Cody increased price 4.5 to 5 million this season. I think Semedo can offer a better value because he's more attacking than Cody, I feel. So this is the mid-price range if you want to think. What do you think, man?
So quickly on the Wolves thing, the thing is we're more confirmed that we're more confident of Cody starting, whereas Semedo we see him, sometimes he doesn't play. But this is the problem. Okay, I agree with some of the pricing. I think it's not a big issue. Although Perisic at 5.5 seems expensive. Because he's still unproven in the league. Then you got out the Arsenal, Tierney's, Gabriel. I guess they're okay. I do feel annoyed with Maguire and Shaw's price. I think it should be lower. It's just that they've been just so bad. I mean, if you compare them to players like Trippier and even Doherty who have stood out in various occasions, and Maguire just scores a random goal and that's it. And so yeah, Manchester United's defense has been really, really poor. I'm surprised they should be at a lower price. Then Dallas, who was 2 seasons ago, he was he was a defender.
Sorry, I didn't mention last season is in midfield.
Midfield, and now he's back. But then unfortunately, his price didn't drop. His price should have gone back to 4.5, and then he may have been another awesome pick again. Although we're not sure with the new manager, with the current manager, now that he's start the full season, maybe he might. Whether or not Dallas still becomes a first choice, I don't know, but it'd be interesting to see because I think they're still going to be an attacking team, Leeds. But it's hard to pick right now. Cash had his day, so we can see that the selection is quite high for someone.
Just to share you, the top two is Perisic at 47% and then Cash at 18%.
Oh, okay. In terms of mid price, the mid price. Okay. Wow, gosh, that'd be interesting. Let's see if Steven Gerrard can really tweak Cash up. But Trippier, not surprising. He because we expect he'll be taking the free kicks for Newcastle, and a free kick taking defender. How many are there? Other than TAA, Robertson. Yeah, so they're on the tail end as well. So yeah, Trippier, Doherty. It'd be nice if it was cheaper, but yeah, it's not. Obviously, yeah, he wouldn't be after the end of last season.
Yep. Okay. Anything else, Min? Okay.
No, that's it.
Okay. We go to the 4.5 million defender who actually can offer some good value, Min.
Let's take a look.
Okay, start with Arsenal. Ben White and Tomiyasu at 4.5. If you cannot afford Gabriel Tini, they can offer value. Villa, Mings, drop price from 5, now 4.5. Mings and Konza. Brentford, Jensen and Henry Steele, 4.5. Brighton, Dunk and Lamptey can still offer at 4.5. Palace, the Anderson and Gale is actually the consistent one. Everton, the new signing, Tarkowski, 4.5. Makolenko, drop price to 4.5. Leicester also having drop price. Ricardo drop price to 4.5 now. And Castagna also at 4.5, to be fair. Justin at 4.5. Leeds, Firpo drop 5 million now to 4.5. Not Dallas, but Firpo, maybe.
He's hopeless.
Manchester United, you said no 4.5. One Bisaka or Dalot could be your right back. 4.5. Newcastle, the new signing, Botman and Burns still at 4.5. Southampton, Livramento increased to 4.5 now, although I'm not sure whether he can start playing. Kyle Walker-Peters at 4.5. Spurs, say Perisic not playing. Reguilon at 4.5. Or Sessegnon at 4.5 can offer you. West Ham, Kufal, drop also to 4.5. Zuma still at 4.5. And Wolves, as you know, Johnny and Anore still at 4.5 and can offer you value, man.
Wow. From the looks of it, there's so many options, isn't it? I mean, because previously we used to have a problem. There weren't even the defenders priced at 4.5. They weren't necessarily first choice. There weren't a lot who were first choice. So here there's so many first choice players at 4.5. I'm gonna ignore Leeds because you're not worthy of consideration at this point. Even Spurs, those are only play if they don't seem to be first choice. But Dunk coming back to 4.5, that's incredible. I thought, and Dunk last season, because he was more expensive, it was a bit harder. But at 4.5, he does score goals, and he has taken free kick goals in his history. Lamptey, of course, the problem with him is that he can't play consistently enough to avoid injury, so that's why it's hard to pick him up. But Aston Villa, Mings, Konsa, wow, cheap. If the defense looks good again, why not? I'm gonna ignore Everton, Manchester United, Newcastle. I'm not sure is Botman a goal scoring defender. With Newcastle,
Shaw, is it?
Shaw
at 4.5. Yep.
But is Botman? I haven't done my research on Botman.
I'm not too sure, but he's the new signing. He could play left back, I suppose. I'm not too sure. Yep.
Because Trippier is definitely locked on the other side. Yeah, Newcastle a bit hard to pick a defender when you've got Trippier for additional 0.5. You probably want him over the other two. But then the Newcastle's defense does look better at this point.
Yep.
And of course, you got Bruno Guimaraes in the midfield there to shake things up. Kufal, Zuma at 4.5 could be interesting. If West Ham had the standout season like they did last season, then West Ham could someone like Zuma could be good value.
Yeah.
And then there's Wolves who will be underpicked again and will probably perform again.
So I'm thinking, right? Say maybe people are thinking like we can only get 2 premiums, but if let's say we can think 3 premiums, you just play this 4.5 also is fine. I feel, and sacrifice some of your premium defense if you want to go that route.
Yeah. I like Tomiyasu there at 4.5. I think he had a good breakout season last season, but after then he got injured. But before that, he was
also interesting choice. Yep.
Yeah.
I quickly, I just mentioned among these 4.5 million, the highest is Tomiyasu at 18%.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Oh, okay. Well, there's still some confidence in Arsenal defense, at least for the start of the season.
Yep. Okay. Let's go to the midfield position. The premium, as we mentioned, quickly charge my laptop.
Go back.
Salah, we already thought. Son, KDB, Sterling, Fernandes, that's the premium. The mid price, we go. The highest is actually Bowen, man. As we know, he scored 200 points last season. He's been priced 8.5. No other midfielder at that price. But the 8 million offers so much. Saka, Mount, Madison, your player Luis Diaz, Mahrez, Foden, and Kulusevski has been priced at 8 million. So this is the interesting bracket, man. people want to pick. Okay.
Yeah, so you see. Oh, sorry. You want to continue
Okay.
first?
Just a bit more. At 7.5, only two player. Gundogan, we're not sure where they play, but Sancho could be an interesting one at 7.5. Coutinho and Zaha and Barnes, Rafinha, we're not too sure, okay, whether he's still around. Grealish has dropped price to 7 and Bernardo at 7 million. So these are the mid-price mean. So what's your thought?
Well, firstly, you realize that there's such a big gap between the premium and mid price. There's a 1.5 million gap, which is so big, and which calls me to. I'm still wondering why FPL priced it the way they did. But anyway, Bowen at 8.5. Gosh, he's not as attractive anymore now, is he? Because what it was that we people were buying him at 6 million, and he was
Okay.
quite a crazy player at 8.5. Of course, you I'd expect his price to increase, but at 8.5, he's just not as attractive as other players. We've got Saka at 8 million, 5.5 cheaper, and you can see he already has more ownership than West Ham. So obvious, yeah, it's just that because West Ham are not theoretically a big six team, and that's why also probably why, because we think that they're gonna falter at some point. So why pay so much for? We want to spend more on the likes of Spurs, Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Chelsea. Yeah. Um, Not many. Okay, but Saka is still a good pick at 8.0 for playing for Arsenal. Definitely a good choice. Mount, it'll be interesting to see. He takes free kicks, and he's the most expensive Chelsea player
Yeah,
in
I'm
midfield.
about to say that. He's the most expensive if before Sterling coming to Chelsea lah.
Yeah,
He's the
and
most expensive.
there's no one else on this list. That's how weird this. So where's where
Okay. The in
okay
midfield, he's the expensive one lah.
okay
Later we share on the forwards. Yeah.
yeah. So I want to look at where the other guy is. He must be at 6.5. Anyway. So Kulusevski, similarly, gosh, he had this breakout as the second half of the season, but now he's priced at 8, so he's not as attractive. He's priced the same as Diaz. So Diaz, who came in, I think he came in at that price, 8.0. So now he's last season. And we saw how hard he was to pick him last season. Despite him performing, people weren't picking him anyway. Yeah. So and that price point was quite problematic. And this is going to happen to Kulusevski as well. He's not going to be as much picked, although right now 10.5 is still pretty decent. But between him and Diaz, yeah, 31. I was right. So he is
Yeah.
the third
So,
person.
that's it. The third spot is actually Diaz now.
Then you have the second highest is Coutinho, former Liverpool player, 21%. So that's interesting because I guess there are a lot of people still thinking of that, he's going to reach the heights of what he did when he was at Liverpool. So I don't know.
Or maybe because first Villa fixture is again Bournemouth. Could be.
No, you're right. Absolutely right. Zaha. Okay, so Zaha as a midfielder, 7.0. I think that's really good.
Yep.
If Vieira cracks on in his second season. Barnes, Rafinha, yeah, but Rafinha a bit more expensive, makes it harder for me to pick him.
Yep.
Then
Last
you
season
have
6.5. Yep.
then Grealish and Bernardo, who hard to pick.
So there you go, man. Diaz is your third spot. Liverpool, who actually managers are picking now. That's why Robertson is a bit lower in ownership. Okay, it's reflecting here. Is the to be fair, after second half of the season, he did perform coming in
Yeah.
for Liverpool. Okay, but Saka also not that far behind at 18%. So this Coutinho is another one. So these are the popular pick right now in terms of mid price.
Yeah, wasn't Saka also taking penalties at one point?
Yep. But later we talk about Jesus. Whether Jesus will take penalty, I'm not too sure. Or the preseason will tell.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, still mid price, but the lower bracket one, 6.5 to 5.5. I won't touch lower than that. Okay. But at 6.5, we still have some option. Odegaard, Trossard, Silverman, Rashford is another one. Is has been drop price to 6.5. If Manchester perform Rashford in this
Yeah.
Ten Hag side, he could be an option. Saint Maximin now coming back to midfield, 6.5. Okay, and then go lower than that, 6 million. A lot of choices. Smith Rowe, Martinelli is another one that people are eyeing. Buendia, Pulisic, I'm not too sure. Gallagher, if he can get a place at Chelsea, but I'm not too sure. Or he could go
Mm.
alone again to Crystal Palace, 6 million. Wilson, 6 million. Harrison, if Rafinha move away, Harrison could be the key man for Leeds. He's priced at 6. Bruno G, don't forget him. He's at 6 million. Okay. Ben Rama also at 6 million. So that is the bracket. Lower a bit, 5.5. Jacob Ramsey, like you mentioned, increase now, 4.5, no longer 4.5, it's 5.5. Wisa, if he can keep his place, 5.5. Cross, I think it's the penalty taker for Brighton, 5.5. Gordon, also increase in price, now 5.5, no longer 4.5. Fraser, 5.5. Lanzini, Forners, Sochet at 5.5 also. And Neto, 5.5, whose people are talking about right now.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of hype on Neto at the moment. So 5.5, 22.3% ownership, which is, he only scored 22 points in the last season. So, but yeah, I mean, I get why people are picking him. The fixtures also help.
Yep.
So Bruno G pushing on, and he's still only priced at 6, which is quite remarkable. Again, it helps that he's not a big 6 team where his price might be jacked up. So 20, and it's a very attractive price to pick him based on what he did in the second half of last season. However, yeah. So Rashford, see that price. See, that's what I'm talking about in terms of how Manchester United players should be priced lower. So it makes more sense, right? Because they haven't been performing. So why should they be priced so high? And you've got and he's still priced the same as James Ward-Prowse, who performed so much better than Rashford. Although of course he took penalties, but even his free kicks were good as well.
Yep.
Um,
He takes
and
everything.
but ASM suddenly becomes a lot more attractive again, simply by virtue of being reclassed as a midfielder. 6.5 is so attractive. When he was a striker, it was just hard to put him in. Martinelli about 6 point. Okay, so the Arsenal midfielders are no longer the 5 plus players. They were now at 6. So okay, still all right, I guess. Yeah. So and you mentioned Gallagher just now, and yeah, I mean I really like to see him. I think he deserves a chance there in the midfield, but then it seems to be quite crowded. So we'll see what happens there.
Yep.
Buendia, I'm not. Yeah, I still rather spend a bit more to buy Coutinho. If I'm not quite there with Buendia. I think that's about it. Trossard at 6.5. So we saw that sometimes he was playing as a striker for a while last season, but he's moved back. But he didn't play enough to be reclassified as a forward. So yeah, 6.5 is about right for him.
Okay. So
Odegaard,
from the yep.
sorry, just Odegaard, the most uh, slightly on the higher range in terms of the midfield behind Saka. So yeah, it does show how important he is to that midfield for Arsenal.
So quickly run through mid price lower bracket. The highest is Neto. The second one is Bruno G, 21%. And then the third one is Martinelli at 15. So this is the trending right now.
Martinelli, yeah, because he's still affordable,
Okay.
and he can be explosive. That's the thing.
Yep. We'll see. The preseason will tell you a lot of things. Then there will be more info when we decide the game with one team. We go to the forward now, man. The premium one, so-called 9 million and more. We already talked about Haaland, Kane, and Ronaldo. Vardy also decreased in price. I think last season 10.5. Now 9.5, more affordable. But Jota has been reclassified from midfield to forward now and fighting the same place as Darwin Nunes. Same price, 9 million. So what your thoughts?
Okay, makes sense to Jota to be reclassified as a forward based on where he was playing, but in FPL wise, it just makes it hard to pick him. Um, it's just not, yeah. He's just no longer as attractive. I'd rather go for um, Luis Diaz at 8.0.
Yep, save
Um,
1 million.
so Vardy's cheaper. So is his age finally catching up with him? I don't know. I don't know. We've seen that uh, Brendan Rodgers relies on him a lot. So that which helps in terms of FPL. But if he's going to get tired faster now, it's not as attractive. Darwin at 9.0. So yeah, so you got Darwin coming in, and then you got Jota at the same price. You can see in terms of the ownership, Darwin's definitely picked up more, and Jota just might not start. You got Darwin, Salah, and Diaz now. So it doesn't look good
Yep.
for
So
Jota.
between Jota and Darwin, Darwin is more popular. I can see that 16% managers are opting over the Jota, although Jota is the proven one. Darwin still unproven.
Yeah, but it's always about the hot picks being picked.
Yep.
That's why
Uh,
Haaland is
uh,
up. Haaland is up
yep.
there. And then you got Darwin. All these
All
new.
the new players people are picking. Yep.
Yeah.
So in terms of mid price, Richarlison at 8.5, he's being no, he's still at forward, but his price already up because he's already moved from Everton to Spurs. 8.5, he's the only one at 8.5. We go down a bit at 8 million, some variety. Jesus, the clear one, okay, 8 million at 44% managers are picking him. Then Werner and Havertz has been reclassified last season. I think 7 million, 7 million, 7.5. I'm too sure.
Seven.
Now he's already at 8 million as forward. He's going to fight with Jesus. DCL at 8 million. A lot of managers are not happy pricing at that, considering his form and injury last season. He should be lower, but he's at 8 million. Firmino at 8 million. And then a bit down, Watkins 7.5, Bamford 7.5. People are not happy. He's been priced that price. Okay. Wilson, Newcastle 7.5. Antonio at 7.5. And lower than that, 7 million. Nikitia, I'm not too sure how he's going to now since Jesus are already there. 7 million. Inks a bit lower than Watkins, 7 million. Tony, a lot of people also thinking about Tony. He has a bit hike from 6.5 to 7 now. And Mr. Jimenez is at 7. So what do you think, man?
Yeah. Mid-price range is hard to get attractive. Okay, I'll tell you something, Hafiz. I was all set. At the end of last season, I was thinking to myself, okay, then when the new season comes around, I'm bang. You're one of the players other than if Salah staying and TA who would immediately be on my first team sheet would be Kai Havertz. But that was because on the assumption that he was a midfielder. The fact that he's
Okay.
been placed as a because after especially after then Lukaku left. So if Havertz was still as a midfielder, he'll be bang on my team sheet. But as a forward 8.0, it's hard to it's hard. I'd rather go Mason Mount again. You're
Okay.
right. So Bamford, yeah. What on earth is he doing at 7.5? He hardly played last season. It doesn't make sense at all. And when he played, then he got injured again. 6.0. Then you have it, and we can talk. Antonio pretty much stayed the same, didn't he? I think he was at
Yep, I
7.5.
think so. I think so.
That's no argument there. Wilson at 7.5 should be about there. Nketiah, yeah, hard because of Jesus coming in. Jimenez 7.0, that's right. And who knows? Can he be that one we wanted him from the previous last season after his injury? He just had it after the head injury previously. Um, I don't know. It's tough, but Wolves, I think they still have that goal scoring problem. Firmino is in the tail end of his Liverpool career. Let's be fair, so he's not going to play much, so we would have picked him anyway.
Are you
If you
surprised?
want,
Jesus, a lot of managers picking up around 44%. That's a lot.
yeses.
Yep.
Yeah. So clearly there's some uh, belief that Gabriel Jesus is going to be a huge goal scorer for Arsenal. The striker that Arsenal need. Yeah, and Katia did fill in that role better than Lacazette, but then not consistent enough, I guess. Yeah, but Gabriel Jesus himself hasn't been Mr. Consistent at City either, and he didn't necessarily he hardly played in the forward role. He was playing on the right side of midfield a lot last season. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think Gabriel Jesus, this his preferred position is a striker. So I
Yep.
think he's been promised that role in,
Yep.
to join Arsenal. Excuse me, and that's why Nketiah is out of the picture for now.
Okay. We go to the cheap one,
Cheap.
so called. Okay, not so cheap, but still considered the cheap one or mid-price lower bracket. 6.5, we have Welbeck and Mope from Brighton. Mitrovic from Fulham. Okay, he's actually at 6.5. Yep, promoted team. Usually the players will get that price. Adams got some slight reduction. Okay, in terms of price, he's at 6.5. And with Broja's not there, he could be the main striker now for Southampton. Solanke, Bournemouth at 6 million. Mbomo has been reclassified main from midfield now to forward at 6 million. If you cannot afford Tony, then you can take Mbomo. Wood, 6 million. Forest striker Johnson and his newly signing Awuni at 6 million. Undaf, Edward and Mateta, Crystal Palace at 5.5 and Gerrard 4.5, now 5.5 mean. So the popular one is Mitrovic at 12%.
I don't like anyone here except for maybe Johnson for Forest. Yeah, I think that might be a shrewd pick if he comes true. Everyone else just seem very uncertain in terms of whether they'll start, whether they'll do well. Welbeck, who might do well and proceed to get injured. Mope, who's not consistent. Mitrovic, who he's fooled people twice already. So this is the third time. Will he do it again? I'm not gonna fall for that one again. And if it happens, it happens. Uh, Wood, yeah, he just hasn't performed for Newcastle the way people they expected him to. Uh, no, so no, this hardly anyone. Yeah. I'll be looking closely at Johnson, but no one else here
Okay.
springs to my mind.
All right, fair. We already ran the full list, man, from premium to keeper to defense to midfield and forwards. So now I'm going to show you, okay, just a bit on the team draft based on ownership, roughly. This what
Okay.
people are choosing, okay? So, okay, roughly, although the premium one, okay, but in terms of the cheap 4.5, Raya is the one, okay. Then we
Yeah.
go to TAA Cancelo, have high ownership. Also James. And then the mid price Perisic 5.5 also has high ownership. Then we go to Salah. Okay, definitely 60%. Even Haaland is there, 60% ownership. Bruno G and Neto at mid price, quite high. And Luis Diaz among the 8 million, who is also on high. And then Jesus at 44% managers. So I put there in. So this is the squad right now based on ownership lah. Okay. Whether
Yeah.
it's the right one or not, but this is something that people are looking at lah.
So obviously this is a no bench policy. But yeah, so three Liverpool players, two City players, and a smattering of others. Yeah, wow, that's interesting. Hmm.
Yep. I'm surprised
Yes,
also
is
Jesus on really high ownership. So I put there in. And Diaz also on high ownership.
mm,
Both at 8 million. So we can afford these kind of players if you want to.
yeah. So yeah, he's just there because last season Saka was the highest goal scoring player for Arsenal. So will Jesus coming there hurt his goal scoring? I don't know. Then James over Chilwell. Mm, I don't know. I did like Chilwell more when he played. Yeah, so
So,
we talked.
since you talk about that, Rakan FPL post this question for you also. I mean, James or Chivel.
Chilwell.
Okay.
We will have to. But we still have to see. I mentioned earlier about um, maybe in the pre games how James will be played. Yeah, you know, which position? Because if he's going to be playing at right centre back, it's just hard to pick him up.
Okay. All right. So, do you like this lineup, or do you already have some mind whether what's the right formation that we should go? Some says five at the back, four at the back, maybe the traditional 3-4-3. I don't know. What do you think, Min, from
So
the review
so
that we done?
yeah, for me, I can definitely see myself going 4-5-1, and the reason is because there really aren't that many forwards I'm keen on. Jesus might be the one, I guess, because Haaland, I have no real interest in picking him yet. So I instead of Haaland, I would have KDB in the midfield. Yeah, I definitely put KDB instead. Um, yeah, so 4-5-1 for me. And we talked about the cheap strikers. I couldn't find anyone there that I won't want to field in my first 11. So it's hard. So yeah, 4-5, and I I can't see myself. Obviously, I won't be picking Jota, but Darwin doesn't look likely at this stage. When we saw Luis Diaz already acclimatized very quickly to the Premier League. So pick Diaz over Nunes. Darwin, sorry.
All right. Right. I think that's wrap up our session for today. We actually bang on around 1 hour, but we're gonna take some question because a lot of people are
Yep.
asking
Jom.
us. Mean,
Jom.
let's
Soalan, soalan.
let's go. Johnny or Tomiyasu? That's both at 4.5. What do you think, man? Both. Okay, the proven one, Arsenal.
It's a hard
Hmm,
one.
yeah.
Tomiyasu simply because I'm more confident of him as the first choice. Yeah.
Okay.
Johnny, I'm not quite certain.
All right. Good. Sun or Salah for game week one? Salah. A lot of managers will pick. I'm not too sure about Sun. Is still at 24% selection. Or you can have both. I don't know. And
Salah.
sacrifice Salah.
Salah. Okay, so the problem with Son now is that we got Richarlison coming in. That's gotta hurt Son's fantasy output. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Fair.
yeah, definitely Salah.
And also we need to think about the five substitution. Sun could actually be replaced early. Right. So
Oh
okay.
yeah. Yep. That's true.
Haaland or Kane? Wow. Unproven versus proven? Hmm.
Kane.
Okay.
The
Short answer, but
the anti Helen campaign is slowly growing from my side.
all right. Good. All sports fan Adam. Yes, thank you for joining. Leeds have given Barcelona this about Rafinha. Okay, he's excited at joining Chelsea. Rather get Rafinha if Rafinha going to Chelsea. Okay, fair. 7 million instead of Sterling at 10. If that moves comes in. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I agree. If Rafinha does go off to Chelsea, um, it's just that it's a bit crowded. It's a bit of a crowded midfield, isn't it? It feels
Yeah.
like and the way that the manager has been doing it, when if a midfield doesn't perform, he can easily be replaced by another player. So we've seen Ruben Loftus Cheek get starts, for example. So but that's why it's probably why Chelsea players are so cheap in midfield. So Raf comes in at 7. Yeah, he's about the price of what you expect from Chelsea midfield, and then suddenly got Sterling at 10. Ugh, why?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
so
Yep.
so yeah, definitely Raf would be
Okay.
better.
Another question from fan Adam. Thoughts on Ramsey at 5.5 and Neto at 5.5? Okay to double on these two players, I suppose. I plan to even switch to Visa later on. What's your thought, Min? Ramsey, Neto, 5.5?
This is a tough one. I did like Ramsey at 4.5, and at 4.5 it seems expensive, whereas Nito is, I think he just increased by 0.5. Neto, I probably still go to Neto. I probably wouldn't double up. I wouldn't pick both. I think you can go for some cheaper options and the expensive options rather than two 5.5s.
Yep.
We saw it does depend. I'm not too confident with Brentford at the moment. So yeah.
Yep. So if I may say, the hype now is Neto lah at 5.5. Okay, but I think the preseason will tell us better. Then we can actually answer this question again to have better clarification. Rakan FPL asks 4.5 keeper main Raya or Sanchez?
Third option,
Well, you.
Henderson. Okay, so if you have to
Okay,
choose
good.
between the two, I probably go for Sanchez. Again, I'm
Okay.
more confident with. I'm not so, as I mentioned earlier. I'm not confident with Brentford. So Brighton under Graham Potter has shown they can be really strong defensively. So I definitely go for Sanchez.
Okay.
If I have to
For
choose.
me, Rakan FPL, I'm choosing Raya. The trend is Raya. Raya has better save point other than Sanchez. So I'll go for him.
Raya lah.
Elanga, better option at 5 million than Rashford at 6.5. He performed better, improving. Yeah, if it's true that he's play under Ten Hag,
Wait,
so I'm gonna
Elanga's
agree.
at 5.
I think so, but I haven't really checked.
Okay, I
Let
didn't
me
know
check.
that. Because he did get the chance last
Okay.
season, and he did do decent. Not great, but definitely better than the other forward options. So yeah, definitely better than Rashford at 6.5. Rashford, he might be on his last legs, but then now with even Ronaldo looking to move, it shows just you know there's not a lot of confidence going on with Menu at the moment. So the jury is out, not just on Rashford, but on Eric Ten Hag, on whether
Yep.
he can solidify the team.
Yeah, we shall see how the team will shape up if Lenga is an option. 5 million definitely enticing. Okay.
Yep, I'm
Best.
interested.
Okay. Okay. Best 4.5 million. Although I do not have in that list there, I haven't really do the research, but a lot people are saying call back. But maybe later we'll know which other option that we have. Considering this 4.5 is actually your bench folder lah, rakan MPL, not playing lah, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, after the first couple of matches, we'll definitely get some 4.5 options that are first choice, but we won't know until the first game of the season.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Fan Adam, Colbert or Pereira, both nail ceiling of 2 game each as bench backup. Colbert 4.5, Pereira at 4.5. Hmm. Pereira could be a better choice if let's say he's confirmed playing in defense, he's attacking. So that's what I feel.
Yeah, I'd go for Pereira.
Okay. Pablo, Montoya Pablo. Oh, Jesus banyak sub juga rasanya. Nikita akan jadi main player. Wow. That's his statement, man. Nikita will start over Jesus.
That's a ballsy call, Montayo Pablo. Respect. It's interesting this one, obviously, but the problem is Jesus. The fact that Jesus came to Arsenal, I think he had his options, but I think he was promised uh, to he'll get his chance to play as a forward. So unless Arsenal move to a 4-4-1-1 or 4-4-2, which I'm not sure they're capable of doing. Um, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to see Nketiah replacing Jesus. Yeah, Jesus could have gone elsewhere, but he chose to go to Arsenal. But yeah, if this comes true, we'll come. If this happens, we'll come back to you, Montaya Pablo, in game week 2, and we'll definitely give a shout out to you if this is actually the case after a few weeks. And then if you pick him and at the start and he does perform,
Good for you. Yep. His next question, Sanchez or Henderson, like
yay!
Azman mentioned, he loves Henderson. So I
Yeah, I
feel
love
he
that.
has the potential. Yep.
Yeah, Henderson all the way.
Okay. Last question. Fan Adam did touch about wild carding. Oh, the game week not start yet, but you already think further away. Okay, fine. We try to touch that. Do you think
Okay.
wild carding after game week 8 looks the play that gives 8 game week each of
Yeah.
starting
Yep.
team?
Yeah.
And as we know, unlimited transfer after game week 16. Yep.
Yep.
As
Yep.
we maybe you want to explain a bit.
Yeah. I think it definitely looks decent. Looks like the play to go. You don't want to wild card too late because you'll get the unlimited transfers anyway, because of the World Cup where anything can happen. So yeah, so the currently I'm looking the same way to optimize your wild card, give enough time for that wild card team to play before the World Cup happens. Um, yeah, I think it's okay. Obviously you'll wild card early if you screwed up in the initial picks. You know, we've I think I've wildcarded as early as game week 3 or game week 4, in previous seasons, simply because that first
Yep.
squad that I made just wasn't happening. Yeah, so unless it's to correct a mistake, then yeah, wildcarding after game week 8, I agree. That's the play.
All right, good. And Adam shared his team. Oh, Alisson, Cancelo, Chilwell, James, TA, Martinelli, Ramsey, Neto. Oh, that the 5.5 players. Salah captain, Jesus, Haaland. Bench 4 million. Elanga 5 million. Tomiyasu and 4.5 forward. Oh, he's picking
This
Alisson as. Hmm.
Yeah, actually, I kind of like the look of this. You got Chilwell and James, and Alisson, TA, Salah. Um, okay, yeah, I pretty much like everything except Helen. um, so yeah, I think this is not a bad draft at all. So obviously you've
Yep.
put faith in Ramsey pushing on from last season. So it'd be interesting to see whether that happens.
Yep. I'll change a bit in midfield if you, but it's still early. We are not sure on the minutes in terms of preseason. We'll know better once that done, and we have better view on game week 1 later. All right, man. We come to the end of our stream. Thank you to all who joins this session. It's been fruitful. We run through. Yeah, we only starts in to gather information.
Yeah.
So, Min, your last word.
Yeah, so still plenty of time. So hope you had some fun exploring the prices. I think, even for me, some of the prices came as a surprise, and some of the positions came as a surprise. Havertz, Dallas, which for me was very frustrating. But it is what it is, and you guys just need to adjust. And we still have a lot of time. As more transfers come in, we'll take a look at any more new transfers that may have an impact. But thanks for watching, and we'll be talking again.
Thank you, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum. See you. Bye.